freaking love water and I couldn't imagine myself living without it. Sadly, today this is what we'll be doing. I will try to beat Super Mario Odyssey without swimming in some delicious water. The rules are simple. I will try to beat Super Mario Odyssey from beginning to end, and all of this without getting Mario wet. The dude must remain dry for the entire quest. Will we be able to do it? Let's find out. Our very dry quest begins with Mario being dead and this weird ghost guy looking at his corpse. Ugh, that's weird. Oh, never mind, turns out Mario's alive. Yeah, that's right. Run away, ghost. Anyways, let's start exploring this new world, and luckily for us, there doesn't seem to be any water here. Well, okay, there's a few puddles here and there, but you'd have to be kinda dumb to touch them. After becoming friends with the little ghost and turning him into a hat, I made my way to this long bridge and opened up this door. This is the first room that will be challenging in this quest, as there's quite a lot of water all over the place. Luckily for us, we can capture this frog over there, and by carefully jumping, we can avoid all of the water on our way up the tower. Alright, time to fight the brutals that are waiting for us in this flying airship. This fight doesn't feature any water whatsoever, so we can jump on his head a couple times and make our way to the next kingdom. Alright, the Cascade Kingdom does feature way more water compared to the last one, and progressing through it will prove to be a bit challenging. I broke the first rock using the chain jump to then grab my first moon. But there's a problem that's about to happen. We have to cross this bridge over there. But look at all of the water splashing from this big cascade over there. If we try to cross the bridge, we'll have some water splashing onto Mario and onto the game screen. Uh-oh. Truth is, as annoying as this is, we didn't technically touch water. I guess water kinda touched us. These droplets don't actually affect how Mario moves and such, so for the sake of this quest, I will not count this as a challenge failure yet. I even did some research and actually found a YouTuber by the name of Car Gaming that did a super epic gamer jump and managed to skip this section altogether. Whew. Okay, props to them because this jump is looking pretty challenging to pull off. Anyways, now that we technically are on the other side and we technically didn't touch water or water didn't touch us, well, we can just grab a few power moons, defeat this annoying boss over there, and make our way to the Sand Kingdom. Well, as you can probably tell by looking at this new world, there isn't a lot of water in sight. There are ice blocks all over the place, and I guess some could argue that touching these is considered touching water, but we don't actually have to touch any, so it doesn't really matter. There's quite a lot of power moons to be found in this level, but I will focus on collecting the bare minimum that will allow the Odyssey to fly further. And that bare minimum is actually 16. There's a few easy power moons to collect on top of rooftops, or by playing the slot machine minigame. There's a bunch of power moons hiding in boxes that we can break using the bullet bill capture, and I also answered the Sphinx riddle to get another one. After getting the power moon on the top of the tower and unlocking this next area, I managed to collect even more. Actually, I ended up having enough moons to move over to the next level without even going to the top of the inverted pyramid or fighting the brutals waiting for me. Man, I can't believe I'm also avoiding fighting people for no reason. If this was a Super Mario Odyssey without violence video, I'd be super happy. But for today, I just don't really care. Anyways, let's leave this kingdom and move on to the next one. And we get to pick between two different ones. The Wooded Kingdom or the Lake Kingdom. Not gonna lie, I don't like the fact that the Lake Kingdom seems to be an underwater world. The other one is a forest, which seems like a way better choice for the quest. Alright, time to head out to the Wooded Kingdom. Hopefully, we won't have to explore the Lake Kingdom in the future. Alright, well, luckily for us, this lovely forest is full of trees but very lacking in water puddles. There's a few lakes and rivers to dodge, but not gonna lie, you'd have to really want to go in the water in order to do so. I just played the game like I normally would and collected a bunch of power moons up until I had enough to get back on the Odyssey to fly out of here. That means I had to fight the big piranha plant, enter the sky garden, fight a Broodal, and then I looked left and right to get a bunch of moons. As I said, I just felt like I was playing the game on a casual playthrough. No puddles of water were on my way. Time to get back in the sky and get to the next world. Wait a minute. It's the Lake Kingdom! Yo, what was the point of the choice earlier in the game if I'm forced to play both levels anyways? Oh well, alright. Next up, Lake Kingdom. Yippee! Well, as I feared, this kingdom is filled to the brim with water. Avoiding touching all of this will be quite challenging, but luckily for us, we only need 8 moons to get out of here. Alright, let me try to get those 8 moons without ever getting wet. The first one I got was close to the Odyssey and only required a ground pound attack. I then had to make my way up this wall here by doing some epic gamer jumps. The second moon I got was hiding behind this zipper wall over there. But now, how can I get more? I mean, there's just water as far as my eyes can see. I did see this corner over there that looked a bit promising. Maybe I can pull off a super epic gamer jump once again to get to it. Well, you know what? I did it! It is possible! I then long jumped to this donut platform and got inside of this warp pipe. After getting this third power moon, I made my way from platform to platform up until I got my 4th power moon over there. To get even more moons, I also had to explore the secret zone, which thankfully doesn't feature water at all. With 2 more power moons to go, I just decided to go fight Randy the Broodal. He was quite easy to beat. And with that done, well, looks like I actually completed the Lake Kingdom without having to touch water, which is quite the accomplishment. I'm super proud. Let's freaking go. Okay, according to Cappy, our next stop is the lovely Metro Kingdom. So let's get there, shall we? Wait a minute, yo, that's Bowser right there. I got a new plan. We'll kick his butt right away and finish the game without touching water. Let's make a little pit stop in the Cloud Kingdom for a fun fight. This kingdom is kind of empty and doesn't feature any water, so fighting is all we'll have to do here. Let's grab this funky hat and punch Bowser to oblivion, and voila! The princess is safe. Wait, what? Oh, no. Okay, it's the classic video game trope where you win during the gameplay, but you lose during the cutscene. So cliché. Well, guess we'll visit a couple more levels now. After getting obliterated, we wake up in the Lost Kingdom, where we'll need to grab 10 power moons in order to repair our ship. Luckily for us, the only water that we find here is the purple poison water, which instantly kills us, so avoiding it is actually mandatory. Let's collect a few power moons while making our way up the level. There's quite a few on the way actually, so it wasn't too difficult. Getting 10 moons actually took me less than 10 minutes, allowing me to repair the Odyssey and make my way to the Metro Kingdom. Finally! Well, as you can see, there's a huge rainstorm going on right now in the city, and while I can hide underneath Pauline's umbrella for a bit, I just can't bring it with me. She's not gonna lend it to me. So tragic. Guess I'm soaking wet now, and there's nothing I can do about it. Well, looks like we cannot beat this game without touching water. But hey, let's make rain an exception once again, because there's not much we can do about the weather, can we? After collecting a few moons and going up the highest skyscraper in the city to fight the bus, I finally got the rain to stop, which is good. Luckily, during the daytime, there isn't any water that can be dangerous for this quest, allowing us to move all over the city to gain as many power moons as required to move on to the next level. This was quite simple, as New Donk City is filled to the brim with power moons and you can even get one for doing absolutely nothing. Yep, sitting on this bench is all it takes. Anyways, we can now move on to either the Snow Kingdom or the Seaside Kingdom. Obviously, I want to avoid water, so picking the Snow Kingdom seems to be the smart thing to do, but as we now know, I'll have to play both levels anyways, so who cares? Let's get rid of the water-related world already. Seaside Kingdom, here I come. Oh boy, if I thought the lake from earlier was big, I wasn't ready for an entire sea of illegal water. If I want to get out of here alive, I will need to get 10 moons. Hopefully there are enough moons on the beach to allow me to beat the stage. I got my first moon while exploring this green pipe. I then had to make one heck of a crazy jump to get super high and reach this second moon. After seducing the Goombet, I had to make a scary jump to retrieve this moon. Make sure to quickly throw Cappy after this little animation stops playing in order to avoid the puddle of water. I got another power moon near the top of the hill and also planted a seed to get a power moon later, because we have to wait for this to grow. In the meantime, I hopped on the yellow Plessy to buy a power moon and then decided to hop into a rocket to play the secret zone. 2 more power moons were actually hiding up there. This wall jump here was insanely difficult to pull off and it took me a few minutes. My hands were beginning to cramp, but eventually I made it up and got the power moon. I got another one near these spikes, and with only one more to go, well, you know what's left to do. Let's wait for this seed to grow. Oh my, what the heck just happened? Did I go through the freaking building into imaginary water? Hey, okay, this is a glitch. It doesn't count. Ugh, the only time I get a glitch that puts me in water has to be during a no water run. What were the odds? Anyways, let's reload our game and put this glitch aside and start waiting for the plant to grow. Come on, grow faster. How long does it take for this thing to grow? Oh, almost there? Ugh, it's so boring. Hey, it's ready now. I can't believe I had to wait 15 minutes for this thing to grow. The most important thing is that no water had to be touched in the Seaside Kingdom, which is pretty neat. It's a shame I left this boss alive. I mean, he's gotta keep destroying the kingdom. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to win your challenges. Am I right? The Snow Kingdom is up, and well, it starts off with a huge snowstorm that forces us to go hide inside of this city. Thankfully, there's plenty of moons to collect, and none of these will feature water that we need to touch. I didn't want to grab those flying dudes because I was afraid they would be touching the poisoned water in a way, so I had to get rid of all these spinies using Cappy. And this took forever, but hey, we got a power moon. The fourth challenge does feature water that we need to avoid, but as you can probably tell, falling in the water is highly improbable. With 2 more power moons to get, I decided to do the racing minigame for fun. It also gave me a multi-moon, so it was worth it in the end. Alright, let's go back in the Odyssey and get out of here. The Luncheon Kingdom acts as the lava world in this game, with all of this pink boiling liquid down there killing you instantly that we absolutely need to avoid. As it's the case with most lava worlds in Mario games, well, it doesn't feature water, making it completely easy to beat. I managed to get all of the moons needed to leave in about 20 minutes. Obviously, there isn't much to say as it was very simple, so we'll just move on to the next level, Bowser's Kingdom. Wait a minute, it's Bowser again! And he's on top of a freaking dragon straight out of an anime! What is this game? Anyways, this Final Fantasy final boss blasted the ship using a laser, and now we have to fight him in the Ruined Kingdom. Luckily for us, this ruined place doesn't feature any water either, so after beating the dragon, we can make our way to the Bowser Kingdom for real this time. The Bowser Kingdom starts off easy, featuring a bunch of enemies to defeat and a couple moons to collect, but there's no water in sight. Eventually, as we go up, we will see some water, but by being careful, avoiding it isn't very challenging. After defeating some Brutals and then their big robot, I beat this level, allowing me to make my way to our final destination, the moon! Welcome to the moon! And well, all we have to do is to get to the church and stop Bowser's wedding. There's no water on the moon, or at least no water that we need to get close to, meaning that getting to the final boss and defeating it was quick and simple. I even skipped the entire lava cave by doing the cave skip technique. Yup, I can be an epic gamer sometimes, you just gotta trust me. After punching Bowser to oblivion and the entire world exploding, I woke up in the final lava cave. So let's capture Bowser and get to the end of this level, and there we go. We did it! We beat Super Mario Odyssey! Yay! Alright, time for a recap. Is it possible to beat Super Mario Odyssey without touching water? Well, yes, but no. Like, yes, you can beat it without having to swim or get wet touching a water puddle. But sadly, the Metro Kingdom forces you to stand under the rain for quite a while, meaning that, in a sense, I did touch some water. Nevertheless, it was quite the fun challenge, and I'm super glad I attempted it. Thank you so much for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and check out the link in the description if you want to check out my podcast that I'm doing with Nathaniel Bandy. It's actually very cool, and there's a new episode every single week. Alright, bye!